Good evening all. So I'm back with this this video this evening, which will be a last daily video, subsequent to which I'll be doing videos that's probably every few days or probably once a week or something like that, right? So this video is firstly to say that I am not associated with any group affiliation, anything like that in particular. Yesterday I said I was looking for Islamic vegetarian community, but I'm not actively associated with any group, have any group affiliation, organizational affiliation or anything like that. And so I distance myself from any agenda, which is a topic today, right? So I'm not being funded by any organization or group to make these particular videos. These are expressions of who I am, and I'm just putting it out into the universe for whoever can benefit from it, right? So we are talking about agendas, right? Agendas that people may have, and the concept in this topic I would like to talk about the concept of sovereignty, right? Or being a free person. Being a free person meaning detaching yourself or aspiring to be a free person in terms of detaching yourself from particular agendas, right? Meaning not allowing particular agendas of the worldly affairs, not allowing particular agendas of the worldly affairs to control you, but you being able to manage your own self, right? You being able to manage your own self, mind, body, soul, everything, right? So freeing oneself from particular agendas. One is the social media agenda, right? Because there are certain groups, certain entities who want us hooked on our phones, and this is a problem a lot of us have, right? The scroll addiction, right? Scrolling at nothing really. Scrolling addiction, or whether you scroll and just look mindlessly at certain videos or certain play certain games mindlessly or whatever, right? The social media agenda, right? That's what we're talking about. Detaching ourselves from that as a form of managing ourselves better, right? So this could mean resting your phone, sometimes switching off your phone, or purposefully staying away from your phone for a couple hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever, a day, 2 days, right? As a form of detaching from that social media agenda of wanting you stuck on your phone, right? Like a drone all day, every day, right? Doing purposeless things, right? Or even things that are purposeful, but you just stuck on technology, right? So that's one. Secondly, we want to talk about LGBTQ agenda, right? Distancing ourselves, what is me, distancing myself, and whoever it might benefit in listening to this video, right? To detach ourselves from this agenda, right? As an agenda. Right now, I'm not saying anything essentially right or wrong with you doing what you want in your privacy, right? As a sovereign adult human being with another sovereign adult human being, right? What the issue is when these things turn into an agenda, as in the parading on the streets and actually demanding to yourself a level of, oh, watch me and watch this, right? Watch me and watch this, right? That, or a level of respect that other people won't normally respect for certain actions, right? So you can't demand respect for certain actions that you are doing, right? You can't demand that. That's why I'm saying is you are free to do what you want in your privacy, but you can't demand that people respect you for certain actions that they deem unacceptable or undesirable or whatever, or disrespectful in their eyes, right? So that's what I mean by agenda, not forcing people to have respect for your personal actions, right? So that's that. Distancing yourself from LGBTQ agenda and all these I identify as movements right? I identify as, going straight down to identifying as a dog being chained on your neck and these kind of things. We've all seen these things circulating on the media and so on, right? The I identify as movements and whatever, right? So that agenda, whether it be heterosexual, homosexual, whatever the agenda is, right? Whether it coming from a spiritual, religious, whatever the perspective is, the idea is to align yourself to what is reasonable, rational, heart-centered, right? Rational, reasonable, heart-centered, right? So aligning yourself to that, right? Third, race agenda, right? And this don't mean that you can't fight for a cause. If you know your particular or any particular group of people were subject to some kind of ill treatment, your natural inclination, right? Your natural inclination will be to want to seek justice for that, right? Your natural inclination will want to seek justice for that. So I'm saying this is fine. Just this at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, we're talking about detaching ourselves from agendas, right? At the end of the day, you will realize that this is not the be-all and the end-all to make this your lifelong project, right? There are other things that are far more important after you have sought your form of justice for whatever it is that you perceive to be the past injustices for. There are other things that are of greater importance in the grander scheme of things of life subsequent to having dealt with these matters, right? So next we want to talk about the vegan agenda, right? Vegan agenda. Now it is fine to personally want to make these choices for yourself, whether it be for ethical or moral reasons, whatever the case be, as a personal choice, right? As your personal choice, right? To live healthier, be healthier. If that works for your body, be healthier, live healthier. And on a more universal scale, a moral reason, right? Which is the reason for a lot of people to be vegan, right? For ethical, moral reasons, and that's all well and good. But to turn it into an agenda, to support agenda which uses that for the benefit of a minority to the detriment of the entire world, right? That is what we want to distance ourselves from. And there's a difference between vegetarianism and veganism, right? So vegetarianism, veganism being the more kind of stricter, stringent approach in terms of staying away from dairy, eggs, cheese, milk, whatever the form, honey, whatever substance comes from animals, right? Not talking about staying away from animal flesh only, but withdrawing ourselves from animal products, right? So it's a very stringent way of life, it's a strict way of life. I actually was aspiring towards that, and still I am aspiring towards that. But that's a journey, right? That's a journey, and whenever that is, it is, right? Because nothing is wrong with eating a piece of cake, a piece of chocolate, when you feel like eating a piece of cake or a piece of chocolate from an ethical or moral standpoint, right? Once in a while, if you live that lifestyle, right? So next we're talking about extracting ourselves from the political agenda, meaning my group is in competition with your group, my group is in competition with your group, right? We are competing to see who could do this better, who could do that better, right? And at the same time, one group start a project, the next group leaves the project because that's not my job to complete right? One political group starts a project, next political group leaves it, right? Because that is not my job to complete that project, right? So we want to distance ourselves from that mentality, right? If you truly want to win at this life, right? From a grander perspective, not talking about competitive winning, not talking about competition, talking about winning in the grander scheme of life, in the grander scheme of things, winning the battle against your own self, right? Winning the battle against your own self, and winning the battle against your own disharmonious thoughts towards other human beings, right? That's what we're talking about. So, working for the benefit of the entire society, not thinking about, I am doing this because I want my group to win, I want my group to be on top, I want my political agenda to be at the forefront of things, right? Distancing ourselves from making politics, your political group, the forefront of the agenda, right? Good. Talking about atheism versus religion. Atheism versus religion. You feel free. You are free to believe what you want to believe in, right? A reality exists at the end of the day, right? Whether you believe in no God, no God, right? Reality is what it is. At the end, that is the ultimate reality. We all return to that, right? So, whether you believe in atheism, religious, so extracting ourselves from that debate, that agenda, right? And this is all in culmination for and in preparation for facing that thing called death, right? Distancing ourselves from all these nonsensical things, right? After all research have been done, after all, because there's nothing new under the sun, there's no new research that could be conducted, there's no new anything that can be said that has not been said before, right? So, distancing ourselves from the children versus no children agenda, children versus anti-children agenda, right? Having children versus not having children, right? This is up to people. So if you're older folk, right? If you're an older person, right, and you see your younger relative, you don't be going and asking them, hey, when you're having a baby girl, right? Well, when you're gonna get pregnant, girl, or somebody now get married, when you're going to have a child, girl, right? These kind of things we are trying to get rid of, because people have other goals or aspirations at the end of the day, and having a child is not the ultimate expression and ultimate aspiration of all times. At the end of the day, and on this day today, no wealth, no children, nothing will be of benefit to you when you are to face God, right? To account for your actions, right? So at the same time, we are not discounting the benefit of children, because children are the greatest blessing of all time. So we want to also encourage those who want to have children to go ahead and to eliminate the fears of having children, right? So these are the agendas that we want to withdraw ourselves from in preparation for the final moment, the final hour, facing the final moment, facing the final hour, knowing that you've done what your required duty on earth, you've done your required duty on earth, and it is time for you to get into the mindset, which you actually should be doing throughout your life, right? Because that is unexpected, right? But you should get into the mindset of not dwelling on that, but reminding yourself from time to time that, hey, this thing could happen to me at any moment, at any time, right? So this is what it means to be free, withdrawing yourself from all these associated things, right, and things associated with God, right? So take care, everybody, until probably next week or next few days, as the case might be.